Assalamu alaikum. A warm welcome to our blog series Ivy Law School Diaries. Today we follow the story of Hassan Qadir, a dedicated law student and alumni of Roots Ivy as he navigates his way through the challenges and triumphs of law school and prepares for his future career. To begin with, Hassan, could you give a brief introduction of yourself?
Firstly, I'm honored and thrilled to have been invited by the Roots Ivy as a successful alumnus. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Barrister Hassan Qadir Khan, and I've been practicing as an advocate of the High Court for the past 4 years. I graduated and completed my bachelor's from the Roots Ivy International degree program from the University of London, and after that I moved to the UK to study my bar training course. I qualified the bar in the year 2022 and was then subsequently called to the Bar of England and Wales. And then I furthered my education with a master's degree in advanced criminal litigation.
That's an impressive journey. So, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly was your inspiration for coming to law school?
Okay, to be honest, it was my father because he's a practicing advocate and he's been running a law firm for the past 35 years. He's been practicing in all corporate and commercial matters. And then once I had completed my A levels, I completed my A levels from Roots Ivy, and it was the counselors from Roots Ivy that helped me secure a scholarship across the globe. And then I eventually opted for a degree in computer science at the Carnegie Mellon University. But because of a few reasons, I had to return back. So when I got back, I was very clear that if I have to pursue a degree, it has to be at the Roots Ivy. Uh, I even had options to pursue law degrees at other law schools and universities, but I was very clear in my mind that I have to study it from the Roots Ivy.
Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, what exactly was your thought process for choosing Roots Ivy as the law school that you wanted to pursue your degree with?
Actually, from the time I was in my O levels and then eventually in my A levels, uh, I could see that Roots Ivy is the pioneer for bringing the foreign qualification in Pakistan. So this was probably the only reason that I had to choose, and I had no other options but to go for Roots Ivy and study a foreign degree from Roots Ivy.
Okay, so I get the decision making process for choosing Roots Ivy. So once you came back, obviously you'd been abroad and you came back. How was your initial expression of Ivy's law school? How did it compare to your expectations?
Uh, to be honest, the faculty at Roots Ivy is top notch. During the time I was studying, I was completing my law degree. I sought enrollment, I believe, in the year 2017. We had the most experienced faculty in the Twin Cities. At least I could say this with all certainty that if I were to speak about Rawalpindi and Islamabad, we didn't have uh, faculty as good as we get in the Roots Ivy.
So, as you were saying, Ivy has a top notch faculty and one of the best in the Twin Cities. Would you like to add which of your professors or which of your courses had the most significant impact during your time at Ivy Law School?
So when I was in my first year, I had two of the best teachers in the Twin Cities, Ma'am Rabia. She was teaching me contract law, and then I had Sir Dilawar who was teaching public law, and both of them not only helped me with making a transition from being a science student to a law student, but even otherwise they were working till late hours with me, and I believe that I've got a lot of inspiration from both of them, and they've been very honest with their work, and they, I believe it wouldn't have been possible without them.
All right. Now that you mentioned that you come from a science background, would you say that the challenges you faced academically at a law school were very different from the ones at a science in a science degree?
Yes, I partly agree. One could say that in this, while I was studying science, there's a lot of formulations, and you have to go by the book and you make use of the calculator, and then you've got to deal with numerics and all, and you don't really get to deal with theory. But once you're in the law school, there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of research that is involved. So this was something which I had to really work on, and my teachers at Roots Ivy greatly helped me with that. Because when I started my first year, the only challenge I had to face was that I was not very prone or very excited to read big and lengthy law journals. So it was only because of the teaching faculty and the amazing library we have at Roots Ivy that helped me gain the skill of being a good reader. And this was actually, I believe, eventually helped me during my bar as well, because when I was studying the bar, I would say it's not just rocket science, but the fact is that bar involves a lot of consumption and volume of knowledge that you have to consume on regular
Yes.
basis. So it was my training during my time at Roots Ivy, which really helped me gain
Okay.
gather
So,
the skill.
as you mentioned, there is a lot of theory in when it comes down to studying law. So, with reference to that, could you elaborate on what sort of experience Roots Ivy gave you with reference to extracurricular activities to ensure that the theory actually then translates into practical experience?
Yes, but because see, the Roots Ivy law degree is more of a substantive law degree. So they basically give you the knowledge of what substantive law is. And when it comes to the practical application of the same, it is then where the role of the faculty kicks in. And then they take you to the raw law moods, they take you to the law clinics, and give you a real time experience of on how to apply the law that you've learned in your classes. So again, I would give a fair amount of credit to the faculty at law school, and even the management. The management was would always lend a ear to any of the queries of the student. If I were to be honest, and during my time when I was in the final year of my law school, I had three teachers replaced by the management, because the students, since they were not satisfied with the teacher, the management then had lended a ear to us and they gave us the teacher of our own choice, and then we excelled in the jurisprudence exam.
Obviously, from this entire conversation, we can see that Roots Ivy provides their students an adequate environment and a substantial freedom to operate the way they want. In light of that, the institution offers a courtroom where, on a regular basis, moot courts and mock trials take place. Was that prevalent at your time as well?
Yes, it was, and we used to practice at the moot courts. And I would say that practicing at the moot courts played a crucial role in shaping my educational as well as my professional life.
All right. And would you say that after finishing off your qualifications or even during it, did you actually pursue any internships or any clerkship during your time at Roots Ivy?
There were many opportunities. I'll be honest, all of my class fellows, they were seeking internships at different law firms, but I personally was of the view that I should like first focus on my degree and rather complete it and then eventually get into the profession.
So, your point being that the career development cell at Roots Ivy gives its student ample opportunities. However, you thought that it was better for your professional growth
Yes.
for you to approach or actually pursue another qualification and then come back and experience the practical side of the field,
Yes,
correct?
most certainly many of my colleagues who graduated from Roots Ivy, now they're working as in-house counsel in the top corporates of the country.
All right, could you share a similar experience? You mentioned earlier to me that there you mentioned a company and you stated that they had offered you a position and it helped in building your professional network as well.
No, actually, it was that I have been working as an in-house counsel for the Best Way Cement,
Oh,
and while they were recruiting an in-house counsel for their head office in Islamabad, they told me if I could refer an individual. So the criteria of qualification, which was desired by the management, was that the one should have a foreign degree qualification and preferably a degree from UOL or UOB. So there's always this preference which the foreign degree holders get in the market these days.
obviously हमारी मार्केट में थोड़ी प्रेफरेंस होती है इनके लिए. There is an acceptance for foreign degrees in Pakistan. So let me add, did you receive any or did you attend any workshop or seminars on professional skills at Roots Ivy?
Yes, I did. There were many workshops that were conducted during my time as a student, and not only in professional ethics, but also on advocacy skills. and we had separate sessions for criminal advocacy, and we had separate sessions for civil litigation and civil advocacy. And this was my time at the Roots Ivy, which eventually helped me study these similar modules during my time at the bar school. And I would just add on to the previous question that many of the students who are after their A levels or FSC are in a position of trying to make a decision on whether to pursue a local degree or to pursue a foreign degree, and they always have this element of employability in their mind. So just to make it clear that a foreign degree is highly valued in the Pakistani markets, and most of the top corporates are looking for individuals who have a foreign degree. So we really have an edge.
Also, I can see that obviously the stage that you're at, your professional development, your career, those are the focus of your life, and Roots has played a significant part in that.
Certainly.
So, on the same line of questioning, uh, what was the biggest transition you felt when you moved from your academic journey to the professional journey?
Okay, speaking generally, the biggest transition is that once you're in the law school, you just study the substantive law, and practicing law is a different thing altogether.
Okay, so if I build on to that question, so what steps did you take to actually ensure that you can address these challenges?
What I would recommend the new lot is that once you've completed your degree, it is always advisable that you attend the law school and law clinics at your campus, because that really helps you on how to that tells you and teaches you on how to engage with the clients, helps you with the advocacy and other practical elements that are involved in this profession of litigation. And even if you were to not choose or go for litigation, it still helps you. For instance, if there is an individual who would not want to practice but rather prefer a career as a in-house counsel, or would want to just get himself into a corporate or transactional work, I would still highly advise them that they should attend law clinics, because they would probably make you the professional you could become, and would eventually help you seek employability and would polish your skills for life.
Okay, so I'm going to build on that question and ask you a leading question. What advice would you give to the current law students or those considering law school?
For those considering law schools, as I've said before, that uh, while you're making a decision, I would highly suggest you to go for a foreign degree. And uh, provided the fact that I was a student at Roots Ivy, I would recommend everyone to come to Roots Ivy for the fact that they have the best teachers. But for those who have completed their degrees, I would advise them to consider attending law clinics at Roots Ivy, because they would most certainly help them improve their or to pursue their careers effectively.
That's very good advice for the students who are joining the law program. So, in continuation, I would like to ask you, uh, what's the biggest achievement in your life so far since graduating from law school, obviously?
Since graduating, I would say obviously qualifying the bar, uh, because I always wanted. Once I was in the law school, I had this in mind that would want to be called and published as a barrister of England and Wales. So this, I believe, was the biggest achievement till date. But besides that, I believe establishing a practice is always a challenge. Though I come from a background where my father has been running a firm for past 35 years, but I still believe that it's still difficult to establish your own clientele and practice under the leadership of an already established individual. So I would say that the fair amount of practice I have, and I've been representing top corporates across the country, which includes many big names. I've also been conducting training courses, and that was only because of my time during my time at Roots, when I was engaged and appointed as a member of the law faculty, and I then go on to conduct moots in Lahore or in Islamabad or in other cities of the country. And this really helped me improve my speaking power and speaking skills, And because of that, I've been now conducting seminars on industry relations and labor laws. Recently, I was invited by the UBL Bank to speak on industrial relations and labor laws.
Very nice. Okay, so um one quick question: how exactly do you stay motivated? Law tends to be a field which is very draining and which has very tough hours. So, how do you motivate yourself, and how do you ensure that you keep growing professionally?
I seek inspirations from my teachers and my father, my learned father. He's been working, as I told you, working for the past 30 years tirelessly. He works 24/7. In law, you have to be on your foot all the time because this and this profession demands a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of analysis, and then a lot of litigation. Though that provides you with the adrenaline rush,
Hmm.
there's always an adrenaline rush when you're standing in front of the judge, and you never know what question he's going to throw at you. So I believe the only motivation is that in this profession you have to make sure that you're working round the clock in order to make yourself or stay relevant in this.
Okay. In conclusion, I would like to ask you: is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey, or any final thoughts for our viewers?
Uh, for specifically for the law students, I would say that if you're into this profession, you have to be very clear of the fact that this degree will demand a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of reading. At times, people take a bit of leverage since it's very easier to get into this degree, but at the same time, it is very difficult to pass this degree and clear it with a good grade. So, my recommendation to all the students would be that stick to the book. Make sure that you have good liaison with your tutors at Roots Ivy. I'm sure they're ready to work round the clock with you, and that's like we believe pretty much it.
Okay, Hassan. Uh, I would like to thank everyone for watching this vlog. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.